it's Danielle Smith, and I am truly excited to share with you today Surf and Turf Therapy. Dr. Jillian Stewart is one of the founders and the executive director, and they're located here in San Juan Capistrano. Surf and Turf Therapy has a lot to offer for the community, as well as those people that are in need of their services. Their barn is situated behind us at Rancho Sierra Vista. So let's go talk to Jillian. We're here with Jillian. Thank you so much for chatting with me today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Oh, awesome. So Surf and Turf Therapy, please tell us like how it started, what it is, what it is basically. Yeah, tell us.
So I'm a doctor of physical therapy. I grew up with horses. In undergrad, I fell in love with surfing. And so I was doing hippotherapy, which is the medical use of the horse for physical, occupational, or speech therapy. And a lot of families were coming to me saying, my child went to a surf day with all these other great groups that, do a day and then travel. But there was no one that could take their child surfing regularly. So then I thought about, well, how is sitting on a horse compared to sitting astride a surfboard? And how can I use it therapeutically? And that's kind of really what started Surf and Turf. So using the principles that I learned from my hippotherapy courses and applying it to the aquatic environment and a dynamic surface of a surfboard.
I absolutely love it. And I'll tell you, like, I didn't know what hippotherapy was until I went on your website, and I was like, wow, I think it's fantastic that you utilize your skill to create what we see today. And I've admired it for the last handful of years. So, and I appreciate you, what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. What kind of programs do you offer people to attend?
So we do a lot of different things, but our two main programs are the surf and the turf. And within each of those, we have both medical and recreational. So what that means is we have the hippotherapy side, which is PTOT speech, but then we also have therapeutic riding. So if someone has met their physical therapy goals with me, so we're riding in hippotherapy with the purpose of improving daily function. So I'm working on going up and down stairs, sitting balance, standing balance. Our speech therapists are working on communication, whether that's language development or understanding body language or using an AAC device. And so we're working towards functional goals, but we're just using the horse's movement as a fun way to get there instead of a clinic. And so once people meet all their goals and they graduate, instead of having to stop services, that's where they can transition to our recreational program. And that is riding horse for riding. But they're with a coach who understands how to work with their specific disability, whether they have tight muscle tone or hemiparesis, limiting their ability to use certain muscle groups, or regulation issues that they need to be mindful of when they're riding. So that way they can ride throughout the lifespan. And then the same thing is replicated on the surf side. So we have surf therapy, and then we have therapeutic surfing for those working on independent surfing.
Yeah, and your surfing is done at Doheny.
Yes.
Right? And then your horses are here at Rancho Sierra Vista.
Yes.
At this beautiful barn that we are in, that you guys have specifically for your group.
Yes.
Yeah, I think.
Yes, Rancho has been so kind to us and letting us just kind of make this space our own. It's nice that it's really private, so that if we are having a child who's having like a sensory overload or a regulation issue, we can keep them really safe in here and help them work through it and process it versus being like out in the general barn areas. So it's been really nice that they've welcomed us to this space.
Very cool. I was able to witness some of the therapy going on. And I talked to one of your therapists to find out like just what we take for granted, these individuals are learning sometimes all over again or learning for the first time, which I thought was amazing. So it was what you do is absolutely beautiful. So that's why I wanted to bring it to more light to it. It has a lot of light. A lot of people know about it. Don't get me wrong, but I love to put a cherry on top and add a little bit more.
One thing people that I didn't say that people don't always know is that we also offer sibling and parent support. And that is a more unique thing because so often I would see siblings getting, when I was in the clinic prior to this and other settings, I would see siblings kind of getting drug along, sitting on the sideline on their iPads, disengaged. And I was like, we have horses in the barn. Let's make them be a part of this. And so we actually have instructors that work specifically with the siblings. So they get their own one-on-one attention as well. And a lot of families tell me like, this is the only thing that my children can do together. Usually I'm going to OT with my son and my husband's going to ballet with my daughter, and surfing or riding is the only thing that like they get to do it together. And then mom and dad get, 45 minutes to an hour to themselves hanging out, which is really nice. Watching their kids do an activity together.
Yeah.
So that's really a cool, unique part of our program too.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, can you tell us about your horses that are
Yes.
part of the program and their stories and what you utilize them in your programs? Like,
Yeah. So this is Peloton. He's our newest member. He's only 5, so he's learning the ropes, but it's great because he's going to be well worth the time invested because he can be with us for a long time.
Yeah.
He is generously on loan to us by a family. So a family's child was in therapy for, 30 hours a week, the first 3 hours of her, or 3 years of her life. And they said after 2 sessions, they saw so much progress, more than they've seen before, that they were like, we need to help this program serve more people, because she was on our wait list for a little while and couldn't get started for a few months. So they called me and said, we want to buy a horse and we want to sponsor it so that you can get more kids in your program. So that is why we are able to have him, which is really cool. And a lot of our families, yeah, he's a ham, that are in a position to support other families do, which is really cool. So we have kids that ride on scholarship, but then we have some kids that can pay a fee for service, and oftentimes those families are also some of our best donors. So that's how we got Peloton.
Perfect.
And then Tomahawk,
Yes.
Miss Tommy, she is
Oh,
the most steady, amazing horse. She is a former polo horse and belongs to one of our board members. And he recognized that maybe she wasn't loving playing polo full time anymore and said, why don't you try her out for therapy? And she's fabulous. She's not spooky. We actually have adaptive polo with some of our more advanced riders so they can practice, hitting and playing polo off her.
Oh, wow. I don't even know how to play polo.
Yeah, we should do that one day.
I think so, yeah.
It's really fun. So she's been a wonderful asset to the program. And then that board member has another horse, Emma, who lives out on another part of the property.
Okay.
That he also loans to us as well.
Oh, beautiful.
And then Biscuit, he might be a little sleepy. He just came back from the doctor. But this is my horse, who I started the program with. He was my cow and trail horse. And when I first had the crazy idea to start Surf and Turf, I approached Patty. And at that point, I was leasing him from Cindy Forrest. And said, like, hey, would you mind if I used him for this purpose? And she was like, go for it. And so he's the one who we started the program with. And the kids all just love him. Even if he's not the horse they ride. You ask them, who's your favorite horse? They're like, Biscuit. And I think it's just because he's so sweet and connects with all the kids. So
the original.
He's the original. Yep, he's the one that started it all. And then we have our littlest members of the herd.
Oh, yes. Little but not to be forgotten. These are great.
They actually pulled a little double carriage at movie night, and it was the cutest thing.
Hi, Cosmo. Hi, Trooper.
Here, we'll get their attention. So they're looking extra fresh right now because they got a little haircut. And they got their hair fluffed for movie night. And they're great because they can pull the carriage, so we can do therapeutic driving. So if some of our riders can't sit up on a horse for various reasons, or they might be over our weight limit, these little guys are really strong. So we can actually do therapeutic driving. They're also great for building confidence for people who are nervous because they're smaller, they're less intimidating. They're easier to reach for some of our little kids learning to brush and groom. We do leading method with them, so they're just great to have. And they're very sweet. A lot of times mini horses can have a big attitude, and these guys, they have their moments, but they're mostly very sweet. They're like a Sour Patch Kid.
Oh, I love that.
And they have fabulous hair. So we do a lot of brushing and like fine motor skills, daily life skills with them, as far as like learning to braid, learning to put in hair ties, things like that.
Oh, I never thought about that. That's perfect.
There's so many fun ways to work on all the things we need to be able to do in daily life at the barn and at the beach. So.
Oh, yeah. Again, a great organization. Now, thank you guys. Now, I know that you put on a lot of different events that help the community, but also benefit surf and turf therapy. So can you talk about a little bit about the events that you've put on? Because I know you just got off of one that was pretty big. Yeah. And I know you have others coming up.
Yeah. So we do a lot of things throughout the year. Like it's like almost once a month we have something going on.
I know. Okay.
But our two big ones are our Movie with a Mission, which is right here at the ranch. We get a huge inflatable screen and it's free to the community. So we usually have a couple hundred people come out. We have a carnival with mostly homemade games, thanks to my husband. He's like my
creative
#1 volunteer, whether he wants to be or not. And then we have line dancing and pony rides and carriage rides. And this year, a parent said, they're a newer rider to our program. They've only been here about a month, that her husband was like, you're bringing our son to this event? Like, are you sure? Because she said normally they don't go to things.
Yeah.
And she said, yeah, they get it. And she was like, it was amazing. We got here, he ran right into the carnival, interrupted someone's game, took their toy, knocked everything over. And she was like, and everyone was so nice to him and they welcomed him. And she was like, it's so nice to be able to go to an event where people just get it. And so that's what this community event is for. It's really to bring people together, have a place where everyone's welcome and supported.
Yeah.
And then our big fundraiser in the fall is out at the OC Polo Club.
Yeah.
And it's called Chuckers for Charity. And that is where we fundraise and we get more than a quarter of our yearly budget from that event. And so instead of a traditional gala, we have just this kind of like upscale but laid back night where we watch a polo match, and then there's dinner, drinks, dancing. James Kelly band always comes out and plays for us. And we do our traditional kind of like silent and live auctions. We have a rider demonstration, and that's where a lot of people get involved as a sponsor. They buy a table, they get, you know, marketing exposure at the event, on our website, things like that. So, and that's usually about 150 to 200 people. It's getting bigger and bigger each year. So
I know. I've been to the movie night.
Yeah.
Because it's a drive-in movie basically, and we don't have those anymore. We used to have one here in Juan Capistrano. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So I've been to the movie night. I thought it was fun, nostalgic for myself, as well as I got to experience everything else.
Yeah.
And then I haven't been to the polo event, but I have it on my calendar for this year. So I look forward to that. Is that all the events that you do?
Those are the two big ones. Yeah. Throughout the year, we've done we do like a surf and turf-a-thon. So think jogathon, but with catching waves or riding laps on horses.
Yes.
So we ask our community members to share their story, help fundraise. We have a pickleball event that we do early in the spring to kind of like kick everything off. We do a tournament right at the courts next to the Mission.
That's right.
Really fun. The city of San Juan is great, works with us on that. Later this month, one of our volunteers, Stacy Savage, is doing a free yoga class like in our barn, actually. So we're gonna do yoga with the horses. So we have a lot of little things like that. But the movie night and the Chuckers are like our two biggest events.
Perfect. I think that's amazing because and I went on your website, which you have plenty of information. It's a great website, so appreciate that. I appreciate like everything that you guys have put together because there's so much. I know that it's driven on volunteers and donations. So if someone wanted to get involved, either, you know, volunteer or donate, where do they go? What should they do? And share with that.
I'm pretty sure the tab is called Get Involved on our website, and it has
you have so
volunteering and donations on that. Our volunteer process, very straightforward, just a simple paper to fill out with our information. And then we do a 1-hour training at the barn or at the beach to kind of introduce people to what they'll be doing, the equipment, you know, our regular routines. And then there's a button right there to donate. We also have horse sponsorships and patient sponsorships. So people who want to do like a recurring monthly gift, that really helps us to be able to plan for the future, knowing what's coming each month. And then we have opportunity, like you can see some of the stalls have plaques on them that say like, you know, sponsored by so-and-so. And then we do sponsor nights where families get to come and like interact with the horse they're sponsoring, or we do quarterly updates on, you know, whatever participant that they're sponsoring. So there's those opportunities as well for donations.
It's perfect. It's great. And I like to volunteer. I'm addicted to volunteering. So I will, if I can help any way for that way, I'll go online and check it out.
It'd be great.
Because I know I'm part of other organizations that always, we need volunteers.
Yes.
Because we're not always there every day and everything like that. But we are needed as volunteers every day.
Oh, yes. We have over 114 volunteers in 2024, and we'll need more this year because we have 2 new staff members starting, which means about 30 to 40 more spots are going to open up, which is awesome. But then generally for each one of those hours, I need 1 to 2 volunteers minimum. So you can do the math in that's a lot more volunteers that we need to add on. So we definitely need volunteers both in the water and at the barn, and people don't need to have experience. We can teach them.
Perfect. Perfect. That's great. So, well, I want to thank you really, this is a great organization. I'm so glad you founded it. I'm so glad you're in charge of it, and the volunteers and everyone else that helps put it together is amazing. I wish you all the best with everything moving forward. It's just really special what you do. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Appreciate you.
Thanks for coming out.